Okay, so Twitter. I don't know about you, but Twitter can sometimes give me a major headache, especially if you're following the amount of people that I'm following and the amount of people that are actually following me. If you're using the web interface and you're kind of scrolling up and down, if you're anything like me, I get eye strain pretty quick, and just the whole information overload gets pretty difficult to deal with. So for this reason, I use TweetDeck. Now, one of the greatest things about TweetDeck is that you can be following a whole load of people, but you don't actually have to be seeing their tweets. It's a really good way of kind of following people back that are following you, but basically not offending them by not reading their tweets. That's actually a practice that's in use in a lot of places at the moment. So it keeps your follower list up. But the other thing is that just with the main global stream on Twitter that, like I've shown already before, it's just information overload. If you're following anywhere over 100 people, it's just really difficult to keep up with all the information. So what I do, and this is my method, I'm not saying this is the method that needs to be used. I basically define the people that I'm following with the in a particular. It's a method that I have, and it's basically I define them by the relationship that I have with them, the number of tweets that they do, and whether they actually reply to me. And that'll make sense very, very soon. I'll show how that actually works and why I'm doing things in that way. And by doing that, it's helped me keep on top of Twitter on a daily basis. I can still engage and interact with people. Um, and also, it just basically, as I said, it helps me deal with the information overload. It doesn't give me a headache, and it just keeps me happy and it keeps everybody else happy. Now, what I've done here is I've created individual groups. So I've got a group called Following, a group called Engaging, and a group called Hi Tweeters. Now, what this is, the group that's called Following, I've basically added all the people into the Following group, which are people that they've either got a large number of followers, so I know they're not going to reply to me, or it's basically people that I'm following where it's software. So I'm following TweetDeck, for example. I don't know whether they're going to reply or it's just informational, like Hacker News, for example, down here, as you can see. And these people I know probably aren't really going to respond to me, or it's just informational. So I put them into following. Now, Joel, for some reason, is in the wrong column because he does respond to me. So I'm going to put him over into engaging. Um, and then I've got engaging, which is people that I regularly tweet with. If I know that if I respond to them or if I reply to them, I know they'll respond to me. There's some more I'm picking up here. I don't know why these are in the wrong column. Okay. So these people down here, for example, I know they'll respond to me. So that's why they're in the middle column. And then I've got another group which is called High Tweeters. Now these are people that will respond to me, but these are people that actually tweet a lot more than the people in the engaging group. Therefore, what happens in the engaging group is that if you've got people that are tweeting a lot more than as a percentage than the others, then the column can get full pretty fast. And then again, you're gonna have to start doing this scrolling up and down. And this is exactly what gives you the eye strain and the headache. Um, Watch out for that. You'll notice that over time, this is the thing that actually starts tiring you. So what I do is I have less number of people in the high tweeters column, but then because of there's a lot more tweets that they do, you can see these people have got like 2 or 3 tweets at once. It just makes it easy to organize, and then this way I'm not doing as much scrolling, and that it's all about for me. It's all about saving the scrolling up and down, and left and right as well. Now my screen's actually a lot bigger than this, and I've actually shortened this window. Simply because for the recording software, but I can actually see all these columns in one go on my screen when I'm at full size. So the way to actually add people to individual columns is what you want to do is you initially want to add a Twitter column when you first launch TweetDeck, and you want to click on this button here, which is called All Friends, and this will show the column over here with all the people that you are actually following. And then one by one, what you want to do is you want to click on this plus icon here, and then you can actually basically add them to your individual groups that you want to add them to. Now, obviously, you'll need to know how to actually create the group, and I'll show you that in a second. But basically, just tick the list as to, and you can actually add the people to more than one group if you really want to. So what you want to do is initially you want to define the actual groups. Now, the way to actually do that is click on here and then click on group and then type a new group name. So you might have a group like best friends as an example if you thought that that was the way that you wanted this to work. You'll actually find if you start organizing people by the relationships that you have with them offline or outside of Twitter, that doesn't actually work in my experience. It's the relationship that you have with them. The relationship outside of Twitter isn't what makes the biggest difference. It's the actual relationship that you have inside of Twitter with them. That that's how I found it. That's how you actually want to define the groups inside TweetDeck. So basically, give the new group a name, so best friends for example, and then just save the group. And these will get synchronized across desktops and on your iPhone as well. So you can be running this on multiple desktops and have all the same columns, and TweetDeck will actually synchronize that for you. So that's probably the best thing that I like about it really. So it's created the best friends group, and then what I could do is basically in my old friends column as an example, I could then just tick on best friends, and those tweets, as you could see, would start appearing in best friends. Okay, so now once you've actually set your groups up and set up the people, the individual tweeters into the right groups, you don't really need all friends as much anymore because it kind of defeats the purpose. And what I normally do is I'll probably just dip into the old friends column every now and again. So I'll normally close this column and then maybe once a day I'll just pop in, if there's new people that I've been following and I want to add them to the individual groups, I'll kind of just pop in and add them back, add them into the relevant group. But on an ordinary daily basis, all I'm really doing is just loading up TweetDeck and just following the tweets of people that I enjoy tweeting with, basically, and that's all I really do. Now the other thing with TweetDeck, and another reason why I really like TweetDeck is what you can do is when you actually do a new tweet, um, you can actually add your Facebook account. So you can click Facebook here. Now you have to add that in the preferences beforehand, and you can do that by clicking on add more accounts here, and then say add new account, and then add the Facebook account for yourself. Um, you can then highlight Facebook, and it will actually update Facebook and Twitter at the same time for you with the same status update. Now I don't leave that switched on all the time because obviously what you don't want to be doing is replying to people on Twitter and then it's updating your Facebook status with that all the time. That could get pretty annoying. So I'll only switch that on when I really need it, or when I really am doing the status update just for Facebook and for Twitter at the same time. You can also add a MySpace column. I'm not on MySpace, so I'm not using that, but you can do that. And the other thing with TweetDeck is it will auto shorten URLs for you. So when you copy and paste a URL, if you've got this button selected here, it will auto shorten that for you, and it just saves you the character space. It will add images for you. It also does image preview. I'm just trying to find somebody who might. Oh, this one for example. That's not part of a preview. There aren't any previews here, unfortunately, in this list. But basically, when you click on a picture, without actually it taking you to the browser, it will actually help. It will actually preview that inside TweetDeck for you, so that saves you some time. I think the TweetDeck have really thought about this whole information overload thing and really help you kind of deal with that. So this is why I love TweetDeck, and this is how I deal with my Twitter headache. Now there is one other thing that I like to do, which other people probably think is a little bit vain, but you can call me vain, call me crazy, that's absolutely fine. I actually add myself to a group so I can see my own tweets. You'll see down here, um, you can see I've put myself in the following group. It's just a lot easier keeping up with your own tweets. When you start using TweetDeck, you'll realize when you want to catch up with your own tweets to see, for example, somebody replies to you and you can't remember what it is that you said, you're going to need to be able to go back. So easiest thing to do is click on your own name, in a direct message or something, and basically just come down and add yourself to a group. You don't need to follow yourself, obviously, but just add yourself to a group. And then every time you tweet, it's easy for you to see what the last thing was that you tweeted. And that's just one little inane quick tip you could say that other people probably haven't thought of. So I hope that's of use to you.